Ousmane Dembélé said, "We are very happy. We were really focused on this match. This is my third World Cup semi-final with the French team. It's pure joy, pure pleasure. We're going to stay focused on what's going next. Because 2 or 3 minutes before my goal, Kylian told me to stay central. He made a great run, opened up the path for me, and I really wanted to get the shot on target and see if it go in. I am happy. And so are we, Dembélé. So are we." Welcome back, football friends. My name is John, and I'll be your host of today's World Cup Daily Foot in Review episode. I think it's 39 already, something like that. I'm so lost in this. Anyways, I will not be talking alone about this great match between Morocco and France. I am joined once again this week, making a regular appearance now. It's Mr. Blue. Welcome back, Graham.
Thanks for having me back on. I'm pretty sure the Vietnamese housewives will be happy to see me as well.
I can only hope so. Because they're good for numbers for us.
Yeah.
Apparently, you came back on the show just a little bit. You came back on the show, and apparently we become #1 podcast in Vietnam.
Yeah, strange. I don't understand why, but I think it's a joke that will keep going for a while.
Yeah, please, if you're Vietnam and listening to the show, keep listening because we definitely enjoy this. And maybe if you keep it on, we'll see if we can organize an event in Vietnam and send Graham your side to your.
Yeah, I'll happily go.
Yeah, of course. I'd go as well. And now I see images of all those housewives standing in front of your plane waving if you arrive. But hey, let's not go there, Graham, shall we?
No.
We are in quarterfinals. We are playing some good matches now. Well, we're not playing ourselves, but we are getting the best of the best now. From the 8 teams left, we have 6 European teams in here. And yesterday we had France play Morocco. Graham, I could summarize this match in 30 seconds, but I can probably do it in 5.
There you go, challenge accepted.
France is just too good for everyone else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What we saw here was that a strength of, like a display of power.
Yep.
Yeah. So this match started. Of course, Morocco had some injured player. I talked in depth about Halal being the weak spot in the Moroccan defense line, and I could not see them having any chance what he played. I said, unfortunately for him, I don't mean it that bad that I said it, but I think it's definitely the weak spot of the team, and I don't see how he can keep up with it. Well, Graham, he didn't need to keep up with it because I wasn't the only one taking that conclusion. He didn't play.
Yeah, he was dropped. There was a few players dropped that I thought was strange as well. Halal was pretty obvious being poor, but Riyadh and Amrabat being dropped as well I thought was a bit strange, given that they'd already lost Sabari.
Yeah. You said you could expect this to be a very open match?
Yeah, just the way Morocco have played the tournament so far, how they played in the AFCON, they're generally a very attacking team, strong. Like Hakimi normally is bombing up the wing, like me and Chris spoke about in the other podcast, very similar to us watching Tav as a right back at the back post looking for tap-ins and headers. So I was expecting them to still be very offensive, like try and hit France in the break, and they went the polar opposite. They sat deep and really didn't offer much.
Do you think they chose to sit deep or they were just forced to stay deep?
I think they chose to at the start. I think they were hoping to sit a bit more back than they normally would and still use that speed of like Hakimi and I can never remember his name, the Real Betis left winger. Obviously Diaz is very talented, so when he's got guys that can run past the defence, he can find them with a great pass. So I think they were hoping to sit a bit deep and really counter them. But then the way that France just swallowed them up in their own half and just kept them pinned back, I don't think they really had much choice given the way the game went.
No, I think you were talking about Salah maybe?
No, I think his name's Elf something.
No. El Kanous.
That's the one, El Kanous.
Yes. He played sort of left midfield yesterday.
That's where he normally plays for Betis as well. And I thought, just with his pace, and if he's bombing on, so like try to press on like Koundé, and then if you've got Hakimi, Hakimi, but try to press on and like press Lucas Digne, that somebody like Diaz could maybe throw a ball between the centre back and the right back, or the centre back and left back, and find them. But there was no runs, no nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, just saying they had one shot at goal the whole match, Morocco.
Yep.
I think this is best explained as a match where people hoped Morocco could offer some resistance here, opposition. But in the end, France just started off like in the 5th minute, they had the first chance already. They just started off with a bang and like there's nothing to win from here. I spoke to some Moroccan friends from me after the match and they were all like, I said, are you unhappy? Like, well, we're disappointed, but there's no playing this. Like, we can live with this. This is, and to be fair, they said as well, if the Dutch would play this team, it would be the same result because there's just no playing against this. They didn't have too much possession because I do think France played pretty risky there, depending on the top 4 a lot, right? But just some random stats. Just I want to show you how much. Of course, they won 2-0. I didn't even know if I mentioned that yet. Like the possession is almost 46 versus 46 with 8% in contest. So pretty much similar. But difference is that France took 22 shots on goal. From those 22, 8 were on target versus 1 on target for Morocco. 10 shots off target versus 3 shots off target for Morocco. 13 shots inside the penalty area versus 1 shot inside the penalty area. And even 9 shots outside the penalty area versus the remaining 4 shots. Basically, they didn't even give much. They didn't give anything away until late in the 84th minute. The first shot on target was something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty late in the game, so the contest was all but done at that point.
Yeah, I think this was a masterclass of football. Like Morocco, just putting out there, Morocco has definitely arrived as a top football nation. They've shown that years now, and we can definitely say they've arrived. But this France team is just insane to watch. I've called it football porn before. You can call it whatever you like. But this is, Chris said in the first half, it feels like they're playing exhibition match, like they're toying with them, that should take it seriously. It could already be like 4-0 in halftime. And that's with holding the break in a little bit as well.
Yeah, Chris said it was like watching the Globetrotters, the basketball team. And to be honest, it was right. It was like this all-star team that were just doing what they wanted, when they wanted, how they wanted, against Morocco that just looked like wee boys lost, just trying to hope that the big bully just took it easy on them a bit. So, yeah, like the first half, was just, the whole game was just so easy for France. I don't even think they really went up the gears at all.
No, it definitely showed there was a massive, massive strength difference there. And we have another one of those controversial penalties we should discuss. And maybe we should discuss penalties in general for a second there, Graham. Because they got a deservingly penalty. One of the famous Mbappé special penalties, where he just dribbles in the box, takes one touch on the last minute, and you can't really evade him, and it's a penalty for you. Clear penalty, no?
For me, yeah. I know some people don't like it, but I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Britain here, we're taught in the box, don't go to ground, because if you go to ground, it's always going to be a penalty 90%, 99% of the time. So, he went down. From the angles that we got, I didn't see any clear evidence that he touched the ball before touching Mbappe. It's just one of those things where just a penalty for me.
Yeah, so Mbappe gets a lot of these penalties where he dribbles into the box, changes direction in the last minute. Whenever the player starts to step in, he touches to the side. And then it's always, you're going to hit the player, right? He's just that fast. Then again, you can't give him much space either. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't in this situation. Deserved penalty. But he went up against Bounou. And Bounou has, at that stage of his career, from the 8 penalties he conceded in a World Cup, 7 did not go in. And we see Mbappe doing the stutter and miss once again. Bounou now has a record of 9 penalties. I should different date. I said it's wrong, but he has now a record of 9 penalties conceded on the World Cup stage, where he saved 7 of them. That's an insane stat.
Incredible stat, because obviously everybody knows penalties generally favour the attacker more than they favour the goalkeeper. So it's been interesting how they've all changed their tactics slightly. It's like they've been obviously they're coached, and the goalkeeper coaches and analysts will go and watch things and look at things like. But it's really interesting how they've changed tactic. Where normally they would dive a bit early, they're really waiting to the last minute to try and cancel out that this. His record's impressive. I get why the stutter was in fashion or whatever, but for me, probably as a football short run ups and stutters just don't do it for me. Get a good run up, pick a spot, hammer it in, just leave it to no doubt. These stupid things, could have cost them. Thankfully it didn't, but at some point somebody's really going to get a painful exit because the only chance I had was a penalty and somebody decided to try and be fancy with it. So hopefully this is the end of the stutter.
Yeah, I just want to put some emphasis on some penalties here for a second. Why do we do the stutter? Why do we? I'm not never doing that, but why do people use the stutter? Basically, it is a higher chance of actually netting your penalty in a goal. So what happens if you stutter? The goalkeeper might move early. If he moves earlier than you touch the ball, you got a free chance at goal. You shoot it to the other side. And if you miss, most of the time, and Kane's penalty showed it at the start of this World Cup, you can just say, hey, the goalkeeper moved too early from his line, and you can do a takeover. Right? And then you're already much in the advantage because the goalkeeper's out of the focus, etc., etc. So you get 2 chances to score a penalty if you do a stutter right and the goalkeeper takes a corner. But goalkeepers during this World Cup have said, you know what? We are not going to gamble into a corner because that's what they usually do. They know which is the preferred corner and they dive to that corner, else you can't make it, right? But because they do the stutter runs, if you don't move, you don't have a free corner to pick as a striker, and you hit a softer ball than you would normally do with a normal run-up. Therefore, the goalkeepers are able to react in time and actually stop it. And it's been 3 out of 3 lately so far. 3 stutters, 3 misses, including Messi and Mbappé. And that's why you said it could be the end of the stutter. The only thing I don't get is why they stutter during a penalty shootout, because you can't really get much do-overs there because refs are a little bit more lenient there. But I think that is why it's just a numbers game, why stutters are introduced, because you often get a second chance if you do miss it. If you hit the goal, nobody will blame the goalkeeper for moving first. If you don't hit the goal, you can always go back. It's like, hey, ref, look, he moved early and you can try again. You are very much correct in saying if you take a normal run-up and you hit it fast and the goalkeeper does not pick a corner prior to that, there's just no stopping it anyways. And we've spoken about defenders this season as well, of this World Cup, taking the penalty series. I've been looking into some statistics, and currently the stutter run-ups have a higher percentage of going in so far, but it's slow. It's fastly decreasing with the last 3 misses. But also, you said defenders can't shoot penalties, right, Graham?
Yeah, there's a few that have been experts, but for the main, it generally just seems like a centre back hits a penalty, it's going to be missed or skied.
I took into some statistics. So I went to OPTA and get some official statistics for World Cup and Euros shootouts, where they split it up. So if you look at all players taking a penalty during a World Cup and Euro, 72% goes in. Right?
Yep.
But if you're a defender, only 68% goes in. If you're a midfielder, 71.5% comes in. So about the average.
Yep.
If you're forward, you get a 75% chance of scoring. So that's over Euros and World Cup, where defenders definitely rate lower. But this is not including stutters. This doesn't make a differentiation between stutters yet. Then we have the World Cup situation. And here the difference is much bigger. So in World Cups, more penalties get saved than regularly. They don't know why, but it could be the fact that it is a bigger stage for most players. So 68.6% gets scores. 68.6% goes in. Defenders only score 62% of all their penalties on World Cups, while attackers scored almost 74% penalties. So yes, this time Mbappé took it and didn't score. The funny stat is though, if you look at only, there's no differentiations between defenders and strikers and midfielders. Actually, defenders are slightly higher to score penalties in Euros than everyone else. So the Euros is a little bit different, probably because the stage is low or the general quality might be higher over the board, so to speak. But you were correct. Defenders do miss penalties more often. And so far, I do think we are correct in seeing Stutters are usually a higher rate of scoring penalties. But it looks like the goalkeepers found it out, how to stop it. And that's by not gambling, not taking the corner, just stay still and just move whenever they tap the ball, because it's not more than a tap in by now. And so far, it's been working. So it's an interesting thing going on in football, I think.
Yeah, we'll certainly obviously go into the next season for club football as well. So time we get to the next World Cup, I presume either the stutters will be perfected again or we'll move on to whatever's the next fad for penalties.
Yeah, I just wish they just stop with the whole, you can't do a stutter. If you slow down during a walk, it's a free kick for the goalkeeper, whatever. Yeah. And then we're all done with it. But I do like sort of the mind tactics here. But Mbappé missed, or I should say actually in this situation, Bounou took it once again. But Mbappé made good for that, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly did.
What a worldly goal. He didn't even get much space or any space at all. Hit it in the inside of the foot, curled it in, unstoppable ball. Just pure class. He said, like Messi did it this week, scoring after missing a penalty, and Mbappé is like, hold my wine, let me see it do it again.
Yeah, but that's what the best do, isn't it? They shrug off whatever previous failure it was and step up when it's really needed. So, but it was a class goal. That the build-up was brilliant. The finish was just perfect. So it was needed, though. That they needed that sort of brilliant moment, colour moment that just broke the deadlock, knocked Morocco's defensive confidence, and that was it. Pretty much the game was done and dusted at that point for me. I thought there would maybe have been a few more goals after it, but Morocco did seem to hold on a little bit better than I thought they would.
Do you think France was ever in doubt of not scoring that goal? Because they didn't seem anxious at all, to be fair, when it didn't go in yet.
No, I think they were quite confident that it would come at some point. The way they were just moving the ball about, passing, the fact that Morocco couldn't really get out the half at all. I think it was just a case of when rather than if. So I think the penalty, everybody thought, right, this is it's an easy penalty, then from here we'll kick on. Unfortunately, Bono was better and saved, but as I said, it's just a case of when it came. And sometimes you need that real magic. Sometimes you need a bit of luck, and it could just be a scuff shot, but it was a moment of magic, and that was it pretty much.
Yeah, a moment of magic 6 minutes later as well, when Dembélé showed that he can do that as well.
He had a really quiet game for me, considering he's the Ballon d'Or winner, the 2 times Champions League winner. I felt that he was a little bit outshadowed by his teammate Doué, Olise and Mbappé. But that was a good finish nonetheless. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah. And we got to highlight Olise with so coquetta pass, no?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. It doesn't really get much replay for me in Britain. Don't know about anybody else around the world, but in Britain, we've maybe got one replay of it. And
Same. And I was like, what? This is magical.
Yeah, like, obviously, Iniesta was one of the best at it, but generally he done it when he had more space and it was maybe one person on him. What was there, 3-4 around Olise? The space was minimum, and it was just the perfect example of when to use it and how to use it. He's absolutely bamboozled them.
Yeah, absolutely amazing game. Olise is just fantastic to watch. I do think Belgium will lose tonight. We've said it before. I don't think they'll have much options. But that semi-final, France versus Spain. Already getting goosebumps thinking about it. Great. It's time for a daily topic. The bottler, the drama, and of course the baller. Who do you want to be the baller today? We could give it to the goalkeeper, Bounou, but almost has to be Mbappé now.
Again, like most keepers, Bounou is an honourable mention. But unfortunately they lost. So that takes that away from him. I think Olise is a good honourable mention as well. Obviously, his lack of Quarter was phenomenal. His touches and his ability and his skill, everything. But I think Mbappé just shades it with his goal and everything. So I would agree with Mbappé.
Baller of the day, Mbappé. What about the bottler of the day? Do you think we had it in the notes and your advice and everyone's like, yeah, it should be Morocco. Is there anything you can blame them though? Are they really bottlers?
I think if you're going to say anything, is the fact that they didn't really have a goal. And I know I said at the start, it's a 50-50 thing where did they really have a chance because France were just so impressive and so dominant. But I think, like I said, they set up to sit back more than they would. I think they didn't play their natural game. They tried to play something different than they have all World Cup, something that they've tried different from AFCON and the friendly. So I think they did bottle it to a degree where they just changed everything in the hope of something happening, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with you because the Netherlands did the same against Morocco and it just doesn't work, not on tournament stage. So I agree. Let's call Morocco the bottlers of the day because of their dramatically tactical changes. And the drama of the day, we could say Mbappé kept it clean, scored a goal, and then got substituted off just to make sure he can't get Messi's record just yet. But I think the fight for the golden boot is still on, right? I think that might be the drama.
Yeah, obviously he took a nasty knock, so I don't think it was any conspiracy theories or anything like that. I think the France were just ensuring he was staying safe. Yeah, the drama is heating up with the golden boot. That's him tied on 8 with Messi. Obviously, Messi has the advantage of having the game against Switzerland coming up, where obviously Mbappe's now obviously 1 game ahead of him. So it is heating up. Obviously, Haaland's sitting behind him. Harry Kane's not far behind. So the drama is there. But I think most of them will say themselves they'd rather win the World Cup than getting the golden boot if it means it. So, but it is heating up, and then the overall general record of who's the top goal scorer in the World Cup could sort of hinge on this tournament as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. We'll see. We have still time. Also, Mbappe said after the match he's fine. He got that tackle, the nasty tackle in, by the way. And he said, I just got a nail on my foot, didn't want to risk anything with 2-0 up. Better to just sop off because I feel it a little bit, but should be fine. So.
Yeah, perfect. Obviously, you got semi-final against Spain, possibly a final against Argentina or England, maybe Norway. But may as well, if you're 2-0 up, like I said, Morocco didn't really do much attacking. There's no point gambling. Came off, ice them up, rest them up, and go again.
Plus, they got pretty good players to sub them in anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You've got enough talent on the bench. Give Mateta and the likes a run out as well. Keep them fresh, and keep them in match sharpness. So worked out perfect for them.
Do you think this French team will blow up internally like we might have predicted at the start? Or do you think, because we have some players, I think Etikete, and we heard, Cherki saying they want more play time, Cherki at least. Amizari said it as well, but he got a something yesterday as well. Do you think that it's something there, or they're just managing it perfectly and this will just end up being there to lose?
I think they're managing it perfectly. I said at the start of the tournament, I thought, and I've said it in other pods, I thought that they would play as more individuals, wanting to have the limelight on themselves, given it's Mbappe. Obviously, we all know the memes, dictator Mbappe. Olise is the golden boy at Bayern. Dembélé and Doué are golden boys at PSG. I thought it would be a team in a tournament where they all wanted the limelight themselves and they would all try and one-up each other to the detriment of the team. Where I thought the way Portugal would have played is the way that France is actually playing. I thought they would all mesh well and do really well, where they didn't in France themselves. They're playing as a team. It's all for each other. They're all making decoy runs for each other. They're all laying off each other. I can't see how it implodes. I know Cherki's been a little bit outspoken and he was a bit of a drama queen, especially given that Deschamps had just came back from, obviously, his mum passing away. He took a brief spell, a day or two out of the camp to go and deal with that and came back. No, I think I can't see them losing it now. I think they'll do it for Deschamps. Obviously, this is his last tournament. He's leaving the French job after this. He's just lost his mum, so they started, let's do it for that. I can't see how it implodes. I think it's going to take a good team playing really good football to beat them. Spain probably, I think, is the only team that can. They still have to get through their game with Belgium. So, time will tell.
On a scale 1 to 10, how big do you think the chance is, 1 being poor to 10 being clear, that Belgium continues tonight versus Spain?
2.
Yeah, I'd say 2 or 1, yeah. It's now 1 maybe even. There's no chance, I think.
Yeah, the last 3 games, Spain's won them all. The last 2 games, I don't think Spain's conceded. They've not conceded all tournament. Carabassi has been phenomenal. I think he's Spain's best player this tournament. He's really, for a 19-year-old, marshalled that defence impeccably.
Or should be all as well, of course.
So I really don't see Belgium having much of a chance, to be honest.
No. We'll let you know tomorrow how that ended up being, because we will return tomorrow after the seeing Spain versus Belgium tonight. Thank you all for listening. If you like it, of course, drop us a 5-star review everywhere you can. It helps us tremendously. Check out foodandreview.com. And if you want to buy us a cup of coffee to get us through this grind, then the link is in the description. See you tomorrow. Graham, thank you. Bye-bye.